Hola a todos, en este vídeo voy a hablar sobre la Casa de Bernarda Alba, el libro que yo estudio, y más específicamente voy a hablar sobre 24 citas que se puede usar en tus ensayos, en el paper 2 de A-Level Spanish. Para cada cita, analizaré la cita y explicaré cómo se puede usarla en una redacción. Vale, venga, vamos. First up, los pobres son como los animales. This quote is from Bernarda from Act 1, and the page number I've written correlates to this version of the book. Esta cita destaca las profundas divisiones en la sociedad, ya que Bernarda odia a los pobres. And Bernarda doesn't even view the lower classes as humans. She views them in the same way she views animals. Next is a stage direction for Bernarda, also from Act 1. Dande un golpe de bastón en el suelo. El bastón is her walking stick that she smacks on the ground, pero también es un símbolo del poder tiránico de Bernarda y lo usa para controlar a sus hijas. Y en el acto 3, Adela rompe el bastón. Another quote from Bernarda. Habla si él habla y míralo cuando te mire. Bernarda says this to Angustias when she shows that she thinks Pepe is hiding things from her. Bernarda is also teaching Angustias the perfect role model of a wife, which is to be obedient. And like she says, speak when he speaks and look at him when he looks at you. She is showing from experience what Angustias should do, and is showing her the right way to act according to what society believes is correct. Moving away from Bernarda, this is from her second eldest daughter Magdalena, in Act 1. El dinero lo puede todo. Magdalena says this in response to Adela being shocked to find out that Angustias is engaged to Pepe el Romano. She can't believe that such a handsome young man would be interested in an old and frail woman like Angustias. However, of course, the reason is that she is the one who inherits a large sum of money from her father. Adela and the audience find it absurd that such an ugly girl has been chosen for marriage, and highlights the fact that the real reason Pepe is interested in her is just for her inherited money and status. The fifth quote in this video is "Pero nos pudrimos por el que dirán," said by Magdalena. It shows that village gossip can destroy a family's reputation, and this is what Bernarda is most scared of. Pudrir is the infinitive to rot, by the way. In Act 3, Bernarda says, "Quiere una buena fachada y armonía familiar." Even after all of the chaos that happens in the earlier scenes, this quote clearly highlights Bernarda's obsession with what her neighbors think about her family. She doesn't care about the happiness of her daughters, but the peace in the house. Just before I continue, I want to let you know that you can download a PDF copy of all of these quotes with analysis on my website astarspanish.com/lcdba. I also have other La Casa de Bernarda Alba videos on this playlist on my channel. Another Bernarda quote, this time from Act 2. Mi sangre no se junta con la de los humanos mientras yo viva. Su padre fue Gañán. Cuando Martirio quería casarse con Enrique Humanes, Bernarda no se lo permitió, because as it says in the quote, his father was a farm laborer. Bernarda would not dare let her family mix with one of lower status. In this next quote from Act 1, hilo y agujas para las hembras, latigo y mula para el varón, el hilo y la aguja sugieren que el papel de la mujer en la casa es hacer las tareas domésticas, mientras que los hombres tienen más poder y deben realizar trabajos físicos. Martirio en el acto 2 dice, este verano interminable. The theme of heat is incredibly prevalent in this play, and it suppresses and suffocates the sexual desires of the daughters. Martirio is calling the heat never-ending. Next, eso tiene ser mujer means that's what it means to be a woman. This quote by Bernarda groups women together and shows the acceptance in society of the oppression of women. After coming back from the funeral of Antonio Maria Benavides, Bernarda says, Magdalena, no llores. It is clear that she doesn't want anyone to show any emotion, as she sees it as a weakness, and she does not want anyone in society to see her or her family as weak. She's embarrassed of her own daughters and is not willing to comfort them. No, no, para matarla, no. Al final del acto 2, la poncia explica lo que pasa con la hija de la librada. Adela repeatedly shouts, no. We can assume that she is pregnant with Pepe's baby, and is putting herself in the position of the daughter of the librada. Just before the curtains close, the stage direction, cogiéndose el vientre, shows Adela clutching her stomach, showing signs of pregnancy. Nacer mujer es el mayor castigo. Esta cita destaca cómo las mujeres reconocen su propia represión y su bajo valor en la sociedad. Next up, así pasó en casa de mi padre y en casa de mi abuelo. This quote shows Bernarda following generational traditions when declaring the 8-year period of mourning. Bernarda does not seem to listen to the daughter's objections or opinions. Our first big quote from Adela. Mañana me pondré mi vestido verde y me echaré a pasear por la calle. Adela es la única de las hijas de Bernarda que se niega a respetar el luto, y la idea de ponerse un vestido verde es un gesto de rebeldía. El color verde simboliza la vitalidad de Adela, y me echaré a pasear por la calle muestra su deseo de salir de la casa. Adela also says later in Act 2, mi cuerpo será de quien yo quería. She says this to La Poncia, and La Poncia reveals that she has noticed her affairs with Pepe. También esta cita establece el tema central de la obra, la lucha por la libertad y el amor. This next quote is from Act 3. Mis hijas tienen la respiración tranquila. According to Bernarda, her 5 daughters are calm and peaceful. She is ignoring the chaos in the house, and this quote can be used to show how Bernarda turns a blind eye to her daughter's actions. Bernarda continues ignoring the warning signs from La Poncia, saying, Aquí no pasará nada, nothing will happen here. Me sirves y te pago, nada más. This quote, said by Bernarda to La Poncia in Act 1, presents Bernarda as an incredibly evil character and shows her mental detachment for a woman who has worked for her for over 30 years. Next, hay un tormento en cada cuarto. La Poncia is trying to warn Bernarda about the secrets and desires each daughter has, which Bernarda chooses to ignore. It could be argued that La Poncia is a better maternal figure to the daughters than the real mother. Una hija que desobedece deja de ser hija para convertirse en enemiga. This quote is said by Bernarda to another woman in the village who comes to visit, Prudencia. Any daughter who doesn't obey their parents shall be damned. This could link to Adela when La hija de la librada is killed by the whole town. This is an incredibly powerful line at the end of the play. Ella, la hija menor de Bernarda Alba, ha muerto virgen. Adela hangs herself when she is untruthfully told that Pepe el Romano has been shot. Bernarda wants everyone to know that Adela died a virgin and did not have any relations with Pepe. This way society will respect them. And this quote links back to Bernarda's fear of el que dirán. Another quote about La Poncia. Nunca está bien una extraña en el centro de la familia. This once again clearly shows the hierarchical structure in the family, and although La Poncia has worked for Bernarda for 30 years, she is still considered an outsider. Amelia says in Act 1, ya no sabe una si es mejor tener novio o no, and Martirio replies, es lo mismo. Supposedly, getting married would give you freedom. However, in reality, women still lived under the same societal expectations. Martirio says later in the same scene, it's better never to look at a man. And for the final quote of this video, tengo el corazón llena de una fuerza tan mala que sin quererlo yo, a mí misma me ahoga. Esta cita nos demuestra que Martirio también es víctima de sus deseos y su pasión, que la ahogan, así como a Adela. Eso es todo para este video, muchísimas gracias por ver, y si quieres descargar todas estas citas en un PDF, se puede visitar el enlace en la descripción. Adiós.